all of these interesting ways that we're disconnecting and connecting with one another. But I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. So finding a comfortable seated posture, making sure that your hips are up a little bit higher than your knees. You want to make sure that everything can relax. And so if your hips are a little tight, I'm just going to scooch a little further back. If your hips are a little tight, you can find some blocks underneath your knees. You know, find whatever you need, but rocking back and forth, finding the sits bones. Right, so finding those two bones that curve underneath, and just letting those sort of help ground you down, coming to a center spot, drawing the breath in, as if you're drawing the breath in through the navel, really thinking about lengthening the breath, inhaling, finding some length in the spine, and just breathing some length, some breath, and then exhaling, softening, coming into your seat, and really just settling into practice. I always think about the snow globe, right? I always come into my yoga practice and like somebody has taken the snow globe and shaken it up. And I spend the first few moments of practice just trying to let everything settle down. So breathing in, I find some length, I maybe find some width in the rib cage, I maybe find breathing into the collarbones, finding some length in the neck, and then exhaling, softening, coming into my seat. One more time, deep breath in. And this time on the exhale, I'm going to tip my chin forward to my chest. Just find some length in the back of the neck. Really just curling in a little bit. And then on the inhale, maybe I peek up. Maybe I start to find some length in the front body. Maybe the heart draws forward just a little bit. Maybe the shoulders draw back. The exhale, curling everything in. Maybe the movement becomes a little bit bigger for me. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I find some spots that just need a little extra love, need a little extra attention. But I'm just going to spend some time just tuning in to where my body is at today, just taking this time, taking this practice. As I inhale, drawing the heart forward, maybe opening the front of the throat. The exhale, maybe softening back. Maybe I start to draw the back ribs back towards the wall behind me. The navel draws back. Inhale. Heart draws forward, belly draws forward, gaze comes up. Maybe the movement becomes a little bit bigger as I weight the spine up. Exhale, curling everything in. And then inhale, coming back to center. Finding that length in the side body. Bringing my hands down beside me, and again, finding something that my hands can rest on. So it might be that my hands are resting on my thighs. It might be that they're resting on the floor. And I'm going to take another inhale. I'm going to press into whatever it is. So it might be my thighs. But I'm just going to find some length out of the hips. Find some length out of the seat. And then exhale, soften it down. I'm going to keep my left hand grounded. I'm going to inhale the right arm up. Nice and slow, like I'm inhaling out of the rib cage, out of the heart, finding some nice length in that right side body, grounding that right hip, and then on the exhale, I'm going to soften over to the left side, like I'm condensing, I'm deflating on the left side. And that's just keeping that length in the right side body. I'm just curling over to that left side. And then on the inhale, I'm going to gather everything back up, coming back up to center. And then exhaling that right hand down. Left arm comes up. I'm starting first with grounding in that left sit bone, that left hip. And on the inhale, lengthening along the left side body. And on the exhale, I'm condensing on that right side. So really just letting gravity, letting the deflation guide the movement, keeping the breath moving. So we're just using the breath to clean out, to detox, keep everything moving, keep the prana moving. Inhaling, coming back to center, and then exhaling that left hand down. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of a twist. So on the inhale, I'm going to bring that right arm up, find that length again. Exhale, curl over to that left side. And then maybe I'm going to rotate the ribcage just a little bit towards the sky. The heart turns just a little bit towards the sky. And then on the exhale, maybe the heart turns towards the floor a little bit. If I want to add the arm into the movement, get a little upper back stretch, I can. I'm just going to stay here for a couple of breaths, inhaling, opening it up, opening the ribcage up, drawing that right elbow back. Maybe the gaze comes to the ceiling. Exhale, maybe I curl everything in. So maybe that right elbow comes towards the left elbow, heart moves towards the floor. One more time, inhale, opening it up, finding some twist. Keeping the breath moving. Exhale, curling it in. And then on the inhale, opening it back up again. Exhaling that right arm down. Grounding through both sides. Inhaling, left arm up. Let's do it again on the other side. Exhaling, condensing on that right side. So keeping that left hip grounded, keeping that left hip bone grounded, and then maybe the heart, maybe the gaze peaks up, and then maybe it rotates in. But I'm going to keep the movement slow enough so that I can check in with my own body about what range of motion, where my shoulders are at this morning, how creaky I'm feeling, how, where the places are that need a little extra breath, a little extra love. And I'm just going to keep rotating, letting the breath guide me. So the inhale finds that expansion, finds that opening, little opening across the front of the chest. The exhale finds the condensing. Heart moves towards the floor, elbow moves to elbow. One more time. Inhale, open it up. And then draw everything back. Inhale, both arms up. Really find it. And if I have shoulder issues, I can come down into cactus pose, right? So at any point, I might find that this is a little bit more comfortable. So on the inhale, I'm just going to find that length in my spine, find the length in the back of my neck. On the exhale, I'm going to twist to the right. And I'm going to bring my left hand to my right knee. My right hand is going to come behind me. And then maybe my nose is going to trace a line out over the right shoulder. I'm going to find a little bit of a twist here. And then inhale, everything's going to come back through center. So I'm either extending my arms or bringing the cactus arms back. And then exhaling, twisting to the left. So right hand comes to left knee. Left hand comes behind me. I'm going to trace that line up over my left shoulder. Get a little twist. One more time either side. Inhale through center, just flowing, exhaling to the right. Inhaling through center, exhaling to the left. And then inhaling through center, exhaling, the right arm comes down, left arm comes over the head, and just gently the weight of the left arm is just going to tip the left ear towards the left shoulder. So I'm going to keep my right hand grounded so I can keep this right shoulder nice and grounded, nice and soft. And I'm going to loosen up my jaw. Maybe I'm going to make some faces, right? Just kind of like let it all go. We're doing a lot of thinking these days. It's a lot of tension. Here's my chance to really just let it go and just soften all along the right side of my neck, all out the right shoulder. And then inhale, I'm going to bring it all back to center. Exhale, same thing other side. So I'm going to use my left hand to ground that left shoulder, really draw it down. The right arm, the weight of the right arm is going to tip the head over to the right side. I'm going to wiggle my eyebrows. I can't see any of you, so you guys could make the goofiest faces in the world. It'd be totally cool, right? Do a little whine, like, and just stick it all out. Let it all hang out, right? That's one of the perks of isolation, right? Nobody knows. Deep breath in, inhaling everything to the center. Let's find a nice, giant, sparkle fingers, jazz hands, open it all up, and then exhale, drawing everything down through center. All right. And then let's come up to stand. We're going to do a little pranayama. So coming up to stand, whatever graceful, awesome way you want to do it, right? So just finding comfortable standing posture. So let's just rock back and forth on the feet for a moment. Just find our feet. Maybe lift your knees up, right? Just get a little movement happening before we enter our flow, right? Maybe do a little kickback thing, right? We can do some like aerobic, or not. Right, that's one of the reasons why I love yoga. It gets your heart rate moving, but not necessarily the same way. All right, so I'm going to find my feet. I'm going to ground the four corners of my feet. I'm going to take a look down. I'm going to see that the outsides of my feet are parallel to one another. I'm going to find a distance apart that feels comfortable to me. So for some people, it's like lining up the toes right with the hip bone. Right? For some people, it's 2 fist widths apart. I'm going to find the ground that feels right for me. I'm going to lift up my 10 toes, really drawing through the center of my feet, drawing in and up and lengthening through the body, and then exhaling, the toes come down, bending the knees, finding the ground. And then I'm going to point my toes and flip the tops of my feet down, right? And just let the weight of my legs just rest on the tops of my feet, right? Just to get a little movement happening there, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just to wake the feet up. Because again, like as we start to balance, as we start to think about, and that's where too, having a chair handy is a really nice thing. Do a little balancing. We're going to do a little dolphin stuff. It's going to be awesome. We're all going to love it. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just love it. So on the inhale, finding my feet, finding my mountain pose. I'm going to open the fingers out, drawing the thumbs away from me. I'm going to start with inhaling, drawing my heart forward, drawing the shoulders back, right? And then exhaling, maybe I'm just going to curl around a little bit and just let my chin drop. And then on the inhale, I'm going to rotate out around, open it up, and then let my arms rise. Finding that length in the side body again. Exhaling, drawing the hands back down to center. This time inhaling, I'm going to bring my arms down beside me. I'm going to inhale them up in front of me like this. So palms facing one another. I'm going to plug my arm bones into my arm socket. And I'm going to go up, again, I'm going to just be really mindful of what my range is. I have some shoulder wonkiness, and sometimes my range takes a little moment. Right, so maybe I'm going to be able to come all the way up to a full extension, right? Maybe I'm just not there yet. And then exhaling the arms down. And then this time I'm going to use the back of my hands. I'm going to keep my hands like this. I'm going to inhale, keeping the back of my hands facing the ceiling. And bring them up overhead. Use the backs of the hands to touch. And then exhale, drawing them down. And one more time, this time bringing the palms up, inhaling the arms up, just to get a little mobility. And then flipping the palms over, drawing them down. And then pushing through jello. And we're going to do a little pranayama. So pranayama is about, using the breath as a way of moving the prana around. So this is the breath that I've been doing. It's called the breath of joy. But I've been calling it the WTF breath because I've been having a lot of WTF moments in my life recently. And the way this is going to work, and so if you have a chair handy, if you're somebody who gets lightheaded, you might want to try this seated, no problem with that. But if you're comfortable doing this standing, so the way this is going to work is that you're going to inhale. I'm going to inhale 3 times through my nose. And as I inhale the first time, my arms come up. Inhale the second time, my arms come out. Inhale the third time, arms come up. And then I'm exhaling out of my mouth, and I'm just letting it go, right? So I'm just going with that, and I'm just flopping it, like letting it go, all right? And I'm going to do this 3 times in a row. And so if you want to watch one, it ends up being pretty quick, right? So again, if you have a chair handy, if you're somebody who feels more comfortable, just keep your knees spread so you can flop it down, let it go. Right, but again, this is my WTF breath. I do it on the regular. So here we go. Right, and so I'm going to do it 3 times fast. All right, you guys ready? Let's do it. Here we go. 1. 2. All right, and then on the last time, if you want to stay flopped over for a moment, just let it all go. And then gently rolling yourself back up. Coming back up to standing. Finding your mountain pose, so finding your feet grounding, opening the palms out. And just taking a moment to notice the impact of the breath on the body. Noticing if there's any heat generated. And just getting ready in general to flow. Inhaling the arms out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Let's do a little vinyasa. I'm trying to think, I'm going to come over here, right, because maybe it's going to be easier to watch it from over here. I'm going to inhale my arms out and up. I'm going to exhale, folding over, bending my knees deeply, bringing my belly to my thighs, letting my head hang down. Maybe I grab opposite elbows, let it swing a little bit. On my inhale, pressing into my feet, I'm going to come halfway up. So I can check, I can check my back here, drawing that navel in and back. My hands can be at my thighs or at my shin. And then on my next exhale, I'm going to straighten the legs, fold forward a little bit deeper. Pressing down your leg, I'm going to spread my arms wide. I'm going to inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, my hands to heart center. So I'm going to step back, I'm going to form my weight. Actually, let's start in chair pose. So we inhale, lengthening through the spine. On the exhale, drawing the tailbone back towards the back of the mat. Coming into chair pose. So again, I'm thinking about wrapping that navel, drawing that navel in and back, wrapping the hip bones back towards each other. And I'm going to pour the weight. So this again, actually, I'll come over here. This again is where it's nice to have a chair. I'm going to pour the weight into one of my feet, right? And I'm going to inhale, stepping the other foot back into a lunge. So I'm starting in a lunge, okay? And then on the inhale, both of my arms are going to come up. Finding some nice length in the side body. And then exhaling, I'm going to bring my hands to my hips. I'm going to straighten that front knee. Inhaling, and then exhaling, I'm going to fold forward. So it might be that I only come this far. So this is a pretty big hamstring stretch. So I can either bring my hands to the chair, I can bring, if I have blocks at home, or if I have cans or something, right? And I'm inhaling, lengthening out, and then on the exhale, maybe I'm softening over a little bit more. And I'm thinking about drawing that, whatever the forward leg is, for me it's the left leg. Think about drawing that left hip back. And then bending that front knee, coming back into the lunge, inhaling both the arms up. I'm going to rotate that back heel in towards the midline. So I'm going to come into my warrior feet. And then I'm going to inhale, bringing my arms together overhead and drawing my arms down in front of me. And then I'm going to draw the bow back, opening up into my warrior two. And maybe I'm going to inhale, straighten that front knee. Exhale, come deeper into the bent knee. Inhale, straighten, just float in and out for a few breaths. Exhale, bent knee. And then pushing back, the next time I straighten that leg, I'm going to draw that front arm forward and exhale. My hand either to my shin or to my thigh. Right arm comes out and over into triangle. And maybe my gaze peeks up towards that top hand. Just getting a little twist here. And then exhaling, coming back, bending that front knee. I'm going to tip it back, take it back into exalted warrior. Really feeling that extension along the left side body, if that's the side you're doing. And then on the next exhale, I'm going to cartwheel my arms down to the mat, rotate that back heel up, and this time I'm going to step back into my down dog. So coming into my first down dog, I'm going to keep my heels up nice and high. I'm going to keep my knees bent. Maybe I'm going to pedal my feet, right? Maybe I'm going to lift one hip up and then the other. But pushing down and away from the mat, drawing that deep belly in, drawing my heart in, letting my head go, releasing my head. And then on the inhale, I'm going to lengthen forward into my plank. And so it might be that I'm coming up, bringing my knees down, or I'm keeping my knees up and just keeping myself up nice and high. But coming into that plank, feeling that core really activate. Inhale, exhale, my knees come down, pushing back, child's pose. So I'm going to find a child's pose that works here for me, right? So it might be that I have a block, I bring something underneath my head. It might be that I bring my arms down behind me. But just coming into my child's pose, breathing into the back of my lungs, right? Really feeling that back body expansion happening. On the exhale, there's a further compression. There's a nice condensing happening in the front body. And then on my next inhale, coming back to hands and knees, tucking my toes, taking it back, downward facing dog. And then walking my feet to meet my hands, coming into that forward fold, pressing down and away, spreading the arms wide, inhaling, coming all the way up, exhaling, hands to heart center. So I'm going to come over and demo on this side. So we're going to do the same thing, just on the other side. So I stepped my right foot back last time, so I'm going to step my left foot back. Yes. All right. Right and left. Here we go. On the exhale, coming back into my chair pose. Right, and again, just finding my spot here, finding where I'm going to be, and then pouring the weight into, for me, it's going to be my right foot, stepping the left foot back. Right, and starting off in this lunge. And so maybe I'm going to inhale the arms up in the lunge pose. Right. And then exhale, bringing my arms down in front of me, drawing the bow back, rotating that left heel in, coming into my warrior two. So making sure that my shoulders are nice and soft here, right? Making sure that I'm fairly grounded. And maybe I'm just going to come in and out of that bent knee for a few moments. Just breathing. Oh, I forgot to do the straight leg thing. Oh, wait. Here we go. We'll come back to it. Don't worry. It's just moving in and out of this. Next time on the way back. Plenty of time. And then the next time the leg is straight, drawing that right arm forward, coming into my triangle. Again, just finding wherever my hand. So a lot of this is just happening with my lats and my core. So just finding a comfortable spot for my hand to rest. Inhale, and then exhale, coming back through warrior two, taking it up, exalted, awesomeness, victory over something, I don't know. And then exhale, coming back to warrior two. So I'm going to rotate it back. I'm going to come back into that lunge, right? And then it's going to be the moment where I'm going to come forward and just be over that, maybe I'm going to scoot that foot in, right? And just be over that front leg, just spending a few moments here, drawing that right hip back, right? Just breathing into whatever is tight, whatever needs to loosen up, whatever needs to get a grip. All right. And then bringing, as long as we're here, bringing both hands to the floor, stepping it back, downward dog. Working your dog, walking it out. Pressing down and away. Inhaling forward, plank, whatever version. And then exhaling, taking it back, child's pose. 5 breaths in child's pose. On the honor system. Right, but maybe thinking about while you're there, thinking about swaying the hips back and forth. Maybe you walk the hands to one side, the hips drop to the other. Maybe you just stay still and just find your breath. And then when you're done with those 5 breaths, inhaling, hands and knees, tucking the toes, downward dog. This time walking the hands to meet the feet. Coming into that forward fold, pressing down and away, spreading the arms wide, inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to do just a little bit more with the warrior stuff, but then we're going to move down. We're going to do some dolphin. Sorry, I'm having a technical difficulty. There we go. All right, so I'm going to exhale, coming back into that chair pose. And again, just drawing that navel, thinking about wrapping my hips in towards each other, thinking about my tailbone, just moving away. Maybe I come a little bit deeper, pouring my weight into, now it's going to be my left foot, being light on my right, stepping my right foot back, coming into that lunge, straightening that front knee, and this time I'm going to rotate towards the center of the mat. So I'm going to come into a wide-legged stance. And again, I'm just going to find my ground here. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit. So maybe my toes are pointing in a little bit. Maybe the outsides of my feet are parallel. I'm going to find what's the right width for me. So sometimes people think about lining up their wrists and their ankles, right? But again, you're going to figure out what's the right one for you. But on the inhale, I'm going to grow it out into 5 pointed stars. So really thinking about taking up as much space as I can. And then on the exhale, I'm going to come in, drawing it all in. Maybe I come into cactus arms. So this is goddess, right? Goddess, awesomeness. Inhale, take it out, expand it, shoot it out to the universe. All that great energy. Exhale, I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to stoke the power, stoke the flames. Get ready. And the inhale, let it go. Exhale, draw it in. I guess it would be inhale, draw it in. I don't know, you do you. Here we go. Inhale, expand. Exhale. One more time. Expanding and condensing. And then bringing my hands to my hips, straightening my legs. I'm going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So maybe I'm going to find a chair in front of me. Maybe I'm going to find a block in front of me. But I'm going to find something that's going to help me feel comfortable fully releasing over into a forward fold. I'm going to keep a slight bend in the knees so that I don't hyperextend. And I'm just going to let go. And maybe I'm going to sway a little bit, swish a little bit, shake my head yes and no. Really let it release, letting the upper body pour out of the hips. And then maybe walking my arms out in front of me, drawing my hips back, getting some length in the upper body. And then maybe my hands walk back in between my feet. And then maybe I'm going to flip my palms to face the other direction, like my arms are going to walk away from me. I'm going to walk them back a little bit and just get some extension in the front body here. But wherever I am, I'm just going to let it go and be cool. And then bringing my hands to my hips, pressing down and away, inhaling, coming up. And this time I'm going to exhale, turning to the other side. I'm going to come into a lunge, facing the other side. And I'm going to step back, feet together, inhaling the arms up, exhaling the hands to heart center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just trying to think, I don't want to have my butt facing you guys. Here's where my butt is. On the inhale, right leg comes up, right leg steps back. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to do this on the other side, so I'm not. Right leg steps back. I'm going to straighten up. I'm going to do the same thing. We're just going to pour over just to come into that forward fold on the other side. Really letting it go. Bending the knees deeply, letting the upper body release. And then on the inhale, coming all the way back up. Let's do a couple more. Star Goddess. So inhale, extend. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, expand. And this time, exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to turn to whatever foot you choose, step it together, and then coming up to the front of the mat. And just shake it out a little bit. So I wanted to teach a little dolphin today, because dolphins are cute, but also because, I don't know about you guys, but my hands and my wrists have been getting a lot more work recently, so let's just kind of roll through the hands and the wrists. I'm just sitting on my knees right now, but just really getting the circulation going. My scrolling thumb, right, has been working like double duty, right? So I'm going to just roll my thumb into the center and then curl my fingers around it, right? And then open the fingers up and then curl my fingers up, roll the thumb in front, open my fingers up, right? And I'm going to just let my fingers drop. Thriller hands, zombie hands, stop. Thriller hands, stop. Sparkle fingers, jazz hands. I can never tell the difference between sparkle fingers and jazz hands. I would have made a terrible cheerleader. But so for dolphins, so the traditional placement is that you have your forearms on the ground, right? I'm just going to show this. And this is really good if you have wrist issues, right? It's really good. You can practice some things in forearms. You want to make sure that the elbows are close to the body, right? The elbows are close to the body, that the hands are more or less underneath the shoulder, right? But the first, I think this is the best way to start practicing dolphin is to interlace the fingers, so keep the elbows still close to the body, but to have your pinkies next to each other, right? So like that would be sort of traditional, but instead I'm going to just nestle that inner pinky in so that way one pinky doesn't get pinched, okay? So I'm going to keep my elbows in close together. I'm going to actually probably move the camera down just a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. So I'm going to have the pinkies in close together. I'm going to bring my elbows to the floor. Is that better? There we go. I'm going to bring my elbows to the floor. I'm going to first take a look and make sure that my elbows are underneath my shoulders, right? So that's all lined up. And then I'm going to use the skin on my forearm, the same way that I would use my hands in downward dog, right? So I'm like using the skin on my forearms to push away, to push the mat away, and it pushes my tailbone back, right? So just feel that connection right there. Drawing the navel in and back. And I can start with a nice puppy dog stretch. So I can tuck my toes and really just let my belly sag. Let my head come down, and then push my tailbone back. So coming into a puppy dog, this is a nice, and again, like depending on where your hip mobility is at, this can be a really nice stretch. If child's pose feels really challenging, right? But then drawing that navel in and back, I'm going to engage that core. I'm going to draw the heart back, and I'm going to tuck my toes. I'm going to push my tailbone away, right? My knees start to come up. I'm going to come up into dolphin, right? So it's a lot like down dog, except it's just on your forearms. And once I'm here, I can do a lot of the same stuff that I can do in down dog, right? So if I wanted to, I could pour my weight into my left foot. I can lift that right leg up, right? Get a little hip opener, right? And then I always want to do the same thing on the other side, right? Get a little stretch there. And then I can lengthen, walk my feet back, lengthen the heels back, I can come into a version of plank. Woo! Yeah, that works. And then I'm going to bring my knees down and take it back like I'm going into a child's pose. And if I want to, I can let my tailbone come all the way down. I can bend my elbows and bring my hands behind my head. I don't know if I can talk and like you guys can hear me, so just watch for a second. And just fold my arms back, bring my hands to my shoulders, and just let it go that way. And then if I want, so here's like the last piece with dolphin. Let's just try it one more time. So I'm going to take it up into dolphin. And if I want, I can walk my feet closer, and my head draws closer to this little cup that I'm making with my hands, right? And sometimes it can feel nice to bring the head into the hands and just hold the head there. You want to make sure that you've got enough weight on your forearms, you've got enough core strength, so you're not getting a lot of compression on your neck, right? But it feels a little bit good sometimes to get a little bit of top of the head massage, right? Again, that's dealer's choice. Whatever feels right, whatever feels comfortable for you. But then I can walk it down and away, open it up, come into a plank, feel the burn, and then take it back into whatever version of child's pose. Holy cannoli. That just gave me something there. Oh, yeah, let it go. Rock it out. And then on my next inhale, I'm going to come forward to hands and knees, and I'm going to walk it out onto my belly. Bringing my hands underneath my shoulder blades, bringing the tops of my feet flat onto the mat, pushing down and away, drawing my elbows back, my shoulders drop back, my heart drops forward. I'm going to come up into a baby cobra, keeping the back of my neck long, gaze at the floor. Exhale, release it. One more time, I'm going to come up, maybe I'm going to come up a little bit higher if I feel comfortable, if I feel like my lower back feels comfortable with it. So maybe on the inhale, I'm going to come up just a little bit higher. So maybe I press into the hands just a little bit. And then exhale, roll it all back down. Bring one cheek to the mat. Maybe make a pillow with my hands, bend my knees, and let my feet swish back and forth, releasing the lower back. And I'm going to do a little bit of alternating extension. So on my belly, and again, if my shoulders are wonky, I can keep my arms out in a cactus, right, or I can extend. This is where like the space piece gets really interesting. Like, okay, so, and then you can bump the couch, right? So on my inhale, I'm going to lift my right arm and my left leg. So on the inhale, right arm and left leg come up, and pointing the left toes behind me, and really thinking more about the length, really thinking about lengthening things away versus how high it's going to come, right? Just finding some nice extension through the arm and the legs. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Bend the knees, push it out. Now same thing other side, so this time with the right toes and the left arm. Inhaling, everything's going to come up. Finding some nice extension. Deep breath in. And then exhale, let it go. Bending my knees, pushing it out. And then this time I'm going to do the whole kit and caboodle, right? So I'm going to extend both my arms and my legs. On the inhale, everything's going to come up into superhero. And I'm flying, I'm feeling the breath moving in my belly, rocking me back and forth, right? Finding some nice extension here. Flying over the world, sending my love, sending my energy, doing what I can. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Bending my knees, pushing it out. And then I'm going to roll over onto my back, doing as little as I can, right? But I'm going to come over onto my back, and I'm going to do some rolling bridges. Well, actually, first I'm going to draw my knees into my chest, just because that's awesome. We should always do what's awesome, what feels good. So drawing my knees into my chest, maybe holding one knee in either hand, and I'm going to do some rocking back and forth. I'm going to maybe make some circles with my knees. Maybe they're the same circles, maybe they're different circles. Maybe my knees have different ideas about what they want to do right now. I'm going to listen to them. But just letting the massage happen across my sacrum, across my lower back, letting the weight of my legs really help me work out some of the tension back there. And then hugging my knees into my chest and then exhaling my feet to the mat behind me. I'm going to do some rolling bridges. So I'm going to bring my hands down alongside of me, pressing into my feet. My hips start to rise, right? And my arms are going to come up and overhead. Right? So I'm lengthening the front body, and then on the exhale, I'm going to roll it all down. I'm going to move through this a couple of times. On the inhale, everything comes up. Knees draw away from shoulders. My fingertips draw away. Everything lengthens out. Exhale. It all rolls back down to the mat. Inhale. Lengthening, hips rise, knees draw away, exhale, roll it down, navel draws back, finding the tailbone, releasing on the mat. One more time, this time I'm going to hold for just a few breaths, inhaling out and up, hips come up, and then maybe once I'm here, I really just feel my shoulders on the mat, if my arms are above my head. Right, but I just really feel the tractioning happening in my belly, finding some nice expansion in the front body here, making sure that I've got plenty of room to breathe, making sure I've got plenty of room to keep everything moving. And then whenever I'm ready, exhaling, rolling it all down. And then once everything lands, dropping my knees to the right, just letting them fall. Inhaling through center, dropping into the left. Inhaling through center, and then drawing my knees into my chest. Just rocking back and forth. Now this time, I'm going to hold on to my left knee. I'm going to straighten my right leg. And I'm just going to find some length in that right leg. Maybe I'm going to point and flex the right toes. Right? So I'm holding on to that left knee. I'm going to straighten the right leg, and I'm going to slowly lower that right leg to the floor with as much control, with as much stillness, with as much gentleness as I can. Right, and if it starts to feel like everything is like freaking out, trying to hold this leg in the air, then I'm just going to let it come down. Right, the idea here is sort of a gentle toning. It's not, we don't want anything. Oh, there's a chair. That doesn't work. Exhale, lower it down. And then hugging that left knee in, finding that expansion. So I'm going to take my right hand on my left knee. I'm going to draw the knee across my body. And I'm just going to let that hip come up. Get a little stretch here. Get a little twist. This is yummy. Maybe the gaze comes out to that left side. Feels good. And then rolling it onto my back. Drawing both my knees in again. Hugging both my knees in. This time holding on to that right knee, straightening that left leg. And at first, just finding the length in that left leg. Maybe pointing and flexing the toes. And then slowly lowering that left leg to the ground. And again, keeping my breath moving. Keeping everything as soft as I can. And as stable as I can. And just accounting for whatever furniture issues I have. And then that left leg gets to the ground. I'm going to take that right knee in my left hand. I'm going to draw it across my body. I'm going to let that right hip come up. Oh, bring my gaze out to the right. Hey. Oh, I've been looking at myself so much recently. I'm not a fan. Exhale, rolling it back. Drawing it in. Holding both the knees in. Rocking it back and forth. Bringing both feet to the mat. I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee. And this might be enough. This might be enough of a hip opener on the right side for me. But if I want a little more, I can lift up that left foot and draw that left knee towards the left shoulder. Maybe it comes in a little bit deeper, right? Maybe I wrap my hands around back. Maybe I draw it in a little bit closer. But I'm going to breathe into wherever the intensity of the stretch is. I'm going to send the breath there, and then exhale. I'm going to send the softness there. Just really let it go. One more inhale. And then exhale. I'm going to let it go. Bring that right foot down. Cross that left ankle over the right knee. And again, maybe I'm just going to hang out here, or maybe I'm going to draw that right knee in towards my right shoulder. Find the level of intensity that works for me. Find what I want for my body in this moment. Inhale. And exhale, release it. Bringing both feet back to the mat, dropping the knees over to the right side. Breathing into the belly. Inhaling through center. And then exhaling, drawing the knees, dropping the knees over to the left side. Breathing into the right side belly. Inhaling through center. Drawing both my knees back in again. I'm going to straighten both my legs and just let my feet hang out. Let my circulation reverse itself. And just be here for a few moments. Right? Just drawing my navel in and back, really just having my back stable on the floor. Right? Maybe my knees are really bent, but the idea is just that I'm letting gravity actually help with my circulation, help with the flow downward. Right? Again, we're just cleaning out the pipes here. So before we go into Shavasana, I just want to talk for just a moment. So, again, like the idea with yoga is that we're getting our prana moving, right? We're letting our circulation, we're letting the prana flow to all the cells in the body. We're waking up all the cells in the body. Everything's getting a little juice. Everything's getting a little goodness, right? Like that's the goal with yoga, is that we're using breath and movement to just kind of open it all up, right? And then Shavasana is the time that once it's all flowing, right? Shavasana is the time we actually let it soak into the tissues, right? Like, so the prana, or like whatever we want to call it, whether it's like the lymph fluid, like the, circulation, like the blood cells, all of those systems, we're just letting it all soak in, letting all that openness, all that goodness soak in. I do a dance party, right, after Shavasana, because sometimes the prana's got to dance, right? So it's one thing for it to soak in, but I feel like, especially in this time for myself, I'm needing to cultivate joy. I'm needing to cultivate some exuberance, right? And even though I might not be feeling it, like for instance, today here in Massachusetts, it's a pretty rainy day. It's pretty gray outside, but I need to stoke the fire of joy for myself. I need to stay connected, and sometimes, whether I feel it or not, I got to do it. So that's why I invite you to my 2 minute and 30 seconds. It's a really good song, dance party at the end. If you're not feeling it, it's totally cool. And I still really appreciate sharing practice together. But if you are, I hope you stick around. All right, exhaling, letting my knees fall into my chest. That was a long time, man. We got some good waterfall happening. Exhaling the feet to the floor. So now I'm thinking about Shavasana. I'm thinking about how I want to spend it. So if I have low back issues, maybe I bring my feet mat width apart and let the knees fall together, right? If I have a hoodie on, right, it's always nice to get a little checking out time in Shavasana. Maybe the arms are open by the sides, maybe the legs stretch out long, maybe the feet fall open, but finding how my body will be able to relax and find some stillness. I'm going to sit up because I'm the teacher and that's my job. But all the rest of you should be chilling out right now. So finding my comfortable resting position, letting me inhale, again, find some space and find some expansion, and the exhale, letting me soften deeper into my rest. Softening the brow, softening the face, softening the cheeks, softening the jaw, softening the front of the throat, softening the heart back, softening the lungs, softening the belly, the hips, the thighs, softening the calves, softening the feet, softening through the shoulders, softening the arms and the hands, letting the movement of my breath in and out of my lungs, letting the beating of my heart and the circulation of my blood be the only work that my body is doing for these next few moments. Everything else can wait. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do right now, except allowing your body to soak it in. My brain starts thinking things. I'm going to ask it to wait. I'm going to draw my attention back to the beating of my heart, the rise and fall of my lungs. I'm just going to offer myself this gift of stillness for the next few moments. Starting to expand my breath, lengthening my inhale, lengthening my exhale, finding some movement in the rib cage, finding movements in my face, my eyebrows, my jaw, finding small movements with my fingers and my toes. I'm just gradually starting to come back into my body. And then at my own pace, in whatever way feels right to me, I'm going to come up to sit on my mat. And once I'm sitting, I'm going to place one hand on top of my heart and place the other hand to cover it. And I'm going to bow my head to the wisdom of my own heart. And I'm going to take a moment to offer some gratitude. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to offer gratitude to the universe that I had the chance to come and share practice with you guys this morning, that I had access and the safety and the peace and the health to be here this morning with all of you. And I'm also going to offer myself some gratitude for making the choice to be here, to offer myself this gift. Just taking a few moments to think about what I'm grateful for. And then I bring my hands together in prayer and I bow my head to all of you, thanking all of you for sharing practice today, thanking all of you for showing up. It was really great. It was great for me. I appreciate it. I hope it was good for you too. All right.